So Tamayura is a good show, but you would not be able to tell that from its My Anime List page with a ranking of almost 3,000 and a popularity still around the 2300s. You would think it is a not good show, but it's pretty not bad. I think the main reason for its super low ranking, you could think maybe it's just a boring slice of life, healing Iyashikei show with nothing spectacular really to it. But the main actual reason is that it is a 4-episode OVA with 18 minutes per episode only. So it tries to tell a pretty small story, but still of a big enough scope to feel rushed in both its 4-episode only, but also its 18 minutes with it opening and ending, making it feel rushed. And also, shorts just in general aren't usually the highest rated. I know, oh god, when did I even watch this? I think it was, oh my god, way back in 2014, holy crap. So I first watched this 5 years ago, and you might take a look at my list, it took me a while to continue on, but eventually I did check out the sequel, Tamayura Hitotose, and you would think from that horrible ranking and horrible popularity there was no way a second season could exist, and yet here it is. And it's not only a second season, it's a second season on TV, 12 episodes with full-length episodes. And here is where the show starts. It's probably the second best peak of the show, I would say. In this season, a lot of stuff happens, like the We exhibit, where the girls discover their passions, put it on display for all to see. What else happens? I don't know, but it's just good. And so, what was that? It took me about, actually not too far away from 2015. This one was at the end of 2014, and so somewhere near the beginning of 2015 I watched it, and I think I felt quite satisfied. Like, it felt like a complete story. It told what was worth telling, and I was completely satisfied with it. You can take a look at my score there of an 8. And yet, even though it's so much better than the original Tamayura, it's still, I guess it's bit of a better ranking, and the popularity is pretty much the exact same, so not a huge drop in popularity. So most of the people that watched Tamayura also watched Hitotose, and in their opinion, it's not that much better. I disagree. I think it's much better than the original. And so that aired a year after the first season, which aired in 2020, about 9 years ago. From there, they made a third season. So you would think, with such a low popularity and not really well received, how could it possibly have gotten a second season? And yet it went even further and it got a third season. And so it was again another full TV anime, full-length episodes, and this one aired 2 years after, so a little bit more of a jump. So there's probably some deliberation until they finally decided, yeah, let's go with it. But this season, I feel, is much, much weaker than the second season of Hitotose. This one, it felt like it was much more of the same. So the 4 girls themselves, which are these 4 right here, did most of their developing and changing in the second season. And so what the third season decides to do is just to introduce another girl and then kind of do the same story again, but now with a new girl in the mix. So it's not like it's bad, but it's kind of a lot less interesting because it's they do like the we exhibit again, and like most of the same plot points are just repeated. So it's just much less interesting, and yet the ranking is much higher. But this does not have to do with the actual quality of the show. It has to do with the spike in popularity now. So the people that put in the effort to finish Hitorose after watching the short or whatever and did not like it, rated it low, but then the people that like the show continued, of course, and so that's why the ranking is so much higher, and the popularity has now spiked far down. And so at this point, the show is extremely unpopular, and it's still not even that held in regard, though maybe this has to do with the fact that it was a weaker season, which I agree with. But anyways, when did I watch this? I watched this in 2017, so, and like near the end of 2017. So it took me almost a year, 2 years and a bit almost, to finally get around to watching the third season. And by then, I think was when I knew this season wasn't good, but I cared a lot more about Tamayura than, say, I used to. And so, what have we got now? We've got an OVA and 2 full-length anime, and yet there's more. So what they go on to do from here is to create a 4-part movie series, which is pretty much just like a longer 4 episodes, like an 8-episode series sort of a thing, because yeah, each movie's like an hour long. But I think they aired on theaters, and like maybe a full marathon of it, like that's like 4 hours of Tamayura in a row. I don't think I could do that, but in any case, these movies came out in 2015, so 4 years ago, and I watched them one by one, all in a row, just at the end of last year. So that's a lot more recent. It's now February 2019, so yes, I watched it December 2018, probably around. So these movies are fan-fucking-tastic, so here the popularity has dropped even more. Rankings around 1,000, not bad. 800, pretty good. 700, not bad. And then 400, but a popularity, so less people have the third movie and more people have the fourth movie. Well, that just doesn't make sense, but regardless, 397. Now that's about where I think Tamayura deserves an overall ranking. If you can read this, it says Sotsugyou Sashin, which is a graduation picture. So of course, these shows always get emotional for the graduation sorts of themes, but I really appreciate what this movie quadrilogy, yeah, let's go with this, how it does this, because at this point we've had like a short season and then like 2 full seasons documenting the years. And so with these movies we could get the closure that we wanted from the third season, but just done so well with the movie styling. Just really works for storytelling, I think. And so especially when you have 4 movies, 8 episodes, 2 hours, that's a good amount of time to tell 4 stories. So each girl gets their like 30-minute chunk, some get a bit more, and then like the entire like last movie is just for the main character of Fu, and it's absolutely fantastic. And so the main reason I wanted to say all that is because I actually went to the setting of Tamayura, which is Takehara in Hiroshima. Even on the bus there was Tamayura everything, so it was extremely exciting. The entrance to the train station has the Okaeri Nasai, welcome home, like in the anime. Even the tourism board has the poster, which you can look is completely old and destroyed because I went here in 2019, which is about 4 years after the movie and a whole 9 years after the first OVA came out. So, this shit's been here a long time. There's me with Kane, of course, looking good. No, cutouts, posters, lots of stuff everywhere. Momoneko-sama there, looking good. Oh, there's the girls welcoming us to Takehara. I also got some random pictures in here. Comparison of the old photo studio. Oh, here's where the Wii exhibit was held. The signs that you can see in Takehara. And yep, there, where the Wii exhibit was held. All the girls showing about themselves. Oh, the view from the Wii exhibit hall. There was it was the Hinamatsuri in February is when I went. There's where Maon did her storytelling. They've got some bamboo set aside for Takehara and the Bamboo Festival. Oh, there's the temple where you might take you'll see soon if you've seen the show. Yep, here. The view from the top of the temple is the promo art for the 3rd season of Tamayura. Oh, beautiful plum blossoms starting. Similar sort of a view of the city over across the mountain, same mountain, Tamayura. I thought that was pretty. And here, the big old famous Saihoji temple, which is used for a whole lot of important scenes in Tamayura. Here's some fan art probably, but it's the exact same temple. There's Fu taking a picture from here. And there's the same sort of a view from this temple. I took a lot of pictures because I was in love with the fact that was like that. Oh, here is Tea Shop Yukari, which was the basis for Fu's house, the Tamayura tea shop. Inside, same door, Tamayura decorations, and the exact same table and the parasol still there, even though it's been so many years. Great. I ordered a nice sweet and green tea. And even in the shop, tons of Tamayura stuff, which is beautiful. I took a bunch of pictures in the tea shop and of a cat, like they do, because it's the exact same, and that's so cool. Here's the upstairs, of course, the Hinamatsuri stuff, and yeah, same upstairs, same stuff. The balls in the window and the look down on everything, and on the parasol from the building as well. Momoneko-sama, more pictures, view of the other side of it. Just tons of Tamayura stuff everywhere. So good. I was enamored by the parasol because the girls are always sitting out there so much. Oh, and here, I didn't remember this from the show because it's been so many years since I saw the first couple of ones, but this is the Okakae Jizo, the thing where you make a wish, and then if you lift up this big statue here and it feels lighter than you thought it was, then your wish will come true. And there the girls are doing it. Must have been early on because I don't really remember. Koto Shrine, used in Tamayura. Lots of bamboo stuff everywhere because Takehara, take means bamboo. Of course, in Takehara, there's the Bamboo Festival. Other than Tamayura, it's actually famous for its old buildings and sake and stuff. So I did some tastings. It was delicious. The view of the old historical city. There's a lot of tourists there. Not too many still for Tamayura like me. Mostly we're just Japanese and Chinese people looking at the cool old Edo buildings and all that jazz. But yes, also the okonomiyaki shop Hoboro was this okonomiyaki Horikawa was based out of. And I had some okonomiyaki, of course. I was too pussy to try the Hoboroyaki, but yes, that's it. I was too pussy, I didn't do it. But here's a picture inside of the okonomiyaki shop, and they've got special Tamayura things, which are just fruity float drinks with little plastic thing on it for I don't know, what's that, $6 almost. I didn't do it. I should have, but I didn't. Oh, there's our okonomiyaki shop master Chimo. Another bus with Tamayura. And even in the hotel I was staying at, just a business hotel, there's a whole table of Tamayura stuff. It must be Must be really important for them, I think. Oh, and then I did the same walk as the girls, walking from the center city of Takehara all the way up to the top of Mount Asahi, which was about 8 kilometers, and it took me it actually only took me an hour and a half, but I was like giving her up this hill, and there was only one sign pointing out that this indeed is the mountain used in Tamayura. One sign. You hear the girls are walking it like I did. Saw one car on my walk up the mountain, and here is a view of the Seto Inland Sea. It was beautiful, but yes, there was absolutely nothing Tamayura at the top of the mountain. But of course, this was in the anime. Here, you can see it's the same thing. The girls were exhausted, I was too. Fuck. Here, it was the same stand with the circle things that they sat at. And here, the same view of the mountains and the Seto Inland Sea. Absolutely beautiful. And even just shops that had nothing to do with Tamayura were just so still decorated with tons of Tamayura stuff and cutouts everywhere. So I took lots of pictures of all the cutouts I saw, lots of pictures. Then the next day, I went to take the ferry to Maun's home island, and even at the ferry, just more cutouts. Here, taking the same boat that the girls took. Well, here it's just food taking it, but they all took it to the island. And here, just on the ferry, a bunch of boats, a bunch of pictures. Here, the port, the big red port that they all come out on, and the 2 bridges. You see it in the anime, other people. It was beautiful. So this island is Osaki Shimojima, and Maun's hometown was at the southeast end of the island, which is a small town called Mitarai. And it's also a super old historical town, which was beautiful, beautiful. Here's the hostel I stayed at, which is Hatagoya Kuzushi. It was fine. Here is the Otomeza Theater, where Maun did her storytelling. Inside, there, you can see the girls. It's where the storytelling was done. This is a beautiful, beautiful old wood theater. Another cat. Random shrine, random buildings. And here I also did the walk up the mountain, where this one there's a lot more pictures of. You can see here, this is where Maun learned to sing. I think it's the historical Nomeruka Park. And it wasn't nearly as far of a walk. 8 kilometers was the other one. This one was only like 30 minutes, probably like 2 kilometers or something. But still, the same places. The same places. Same views. Oh, it was super cool. I loved it. It was awesome. Oh, same place. Same place. I'm just obsessed with the fact that it was the same place. It's so cool. Here, I didn't match the pictures exactly, but it's the same. It's the same. That's the bridge. That's the bridge. Oh, that's the tower. Look at Fu's pictures. It's the same. It's awesome. That's it. That's okay. No, just a couple more. I just went to the same places they did, and that's fucking cool. I just wanted to say that, and that's all I have to say. Oh my goods. So about like a little wall scroll, a bunch of fans, little bag. And this little book. And this is about all they had left for the merch and stuff. Like, they were still pushing it, but it's been 4 years since the movie. It's been 9 years since the first anime, so I feel like, I don't know, there were still quite a few people for Tamayura that were there, but I don't know. I don't know if they care. I care. That's why I came to Takehara. I like Tamayura. It is a good show.